Good day, everyone. My name is Tom T. Moore, and I'm the author of 8 books, including the Atlantis and Lemuria, the Lost Continents Revealed book. So I'm going to give you an introduction to that. Now, this is what I'm going to be showing are slides from um, a PowerPoint PowerPoint production that I've done live in front of groups, workshops, and so we'll see some of the slides, and maybe we'll skip one or two if they don't have much use uh, in today's presentation. So with that, oh, before I forget, um, please hit the subscribe button, like button. Uh, and help me grow and reach more people about, especially like these lost continents that a lot of people think really didn't ever exist, but they really did, with millions of people living on them. Okay. Um, Lemuria was about 12% larger than the present day continent of Australia. It was located, initially, it was connected to Japan, but if you watch the earlier episode before this one about Atlantis, when when the volcanoes blew up for at Atlantis and the seas rose 160 feet, then it became detached from Japan. Now, uh, Lemuria went all the way over close to the Hawaiian Islands, within about 100 miles. So keep that in mind when we move along. But I'll in a second I'll give you the exact latitudes and longitudes of this continent. It's uh, I had previously asked, why was I given all this information about Atlantis and Lemuria? And I was told that I'm the only person on the planet that has had more lives on each continent than anybody else. And so I have a lot of knowledge contained somewhere up there um, about these two continents. And I was told I had about 180 lives on the continent of Atlantis, but only about 65 on Lemuria. And I said, well, why so few on Lemuria? And uh, I was told for thousands of years, and they keep in mind it was settled at the same time with Homo sapiens as was Atlantis 60,000 years ago. So for thousands of years, they had an idyllic um, existence. Everyone was completely friendly and everything. Only in the last 1,000 years did tensions rise and they started warring. There were about 7 countries that were divided, similar to Europe today, divided by rivers, mountain ranges, things like that. So even before that, I said, well, uh, Theo, my guardian angel, Theo, did I ever have a life on Lemuria? And he said, oh, Tom. And when he says that, I know something's kind of big coming. And he said, you helped destroy the continent. What? So anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. Here are the longitudes and latitudes for the continent of Mu or Lemuria. So the northern latitude was 37 degrees to 38 degrees north, slight variation. southern edge, uh, latitude 14.5 degrees north, southern tip, latitude 12.5 north, 130 degrees east. Longitudes. The western edge was 135 degrees to 145 degrees east longitude, and the uh, eastern edge was 180 degrees by 165 degrees west longitude. So that was the location. Again, this was a very idyllic place, and this is about the best way I could show it. That everyone was very loving of each other and all until the last 1,000 years. So the final battle took place 7,500 years ago. Now, keep in mind, there have been two other times in history where the oceans of the world rose, wiping out millions of people worldwide. First, when the Atlanteans uh, continent broke apart because of the volcanoes, and the seas rose 160 feet. And then the second time, they rose 41 to 45 feet, again, wiping out cities and towns and villages all over the world because of the displacement of the water. Now, uh, 7,500 years ago, I was a religious leader in one of the countries on the West Coast, and we were fighting with two other countries. So I encouraged uh, the leaders of the country to use hydrogen type bombs that we had that none of us thought that the other countries had. And so what happened? We dropped these two hydrogen bombs, but lo and behold, they did have bombs themselves and they bombed us. And by the time it was over, it broke the continent apart and the seas rose 172 feet. Now, before that happened, keep in mind, for many years, this was a very idyllic place. And because it was only 100 miles from Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands, um, they all would take their vacations there. So that's why Hawaii has a Lemurian feeling to it and energy. And even when they began warring with each other, um, each country would have its own beach. One beach, all the people might be clothed, uh, perhaps say similar, just to give an idea, similar to perhaps a Muslim country. And some of the people would be, uh, uh, with nothing but bikinis and no tops or what. So it all depended on the country and their religious beliefs. So um, that uh, became um, the standard, and people would still vacation, but just on their own beach, but they would still go to Hawaii. So that's that's why Hawaii has such a draw to people, and because you can feel that Lemurian energy from thousands of years from the Lemurians vacationing and having fun on those Hawaiian islands, which had more land at that time until the seas rose 172 feet. And there came these hydrogen bombs destroying everyone. So keep in mind, I do have the Gentle Way books. This is the Gentle Way 2. and the Gentle Way 3. I was voted best self-help author for 3 years in a row by the readers of a health magazine for this series of the Gentle Way books. I also have another Gentle Way book called The Gentle Way with Your Pets. There it is. And I have another book, Conversations with an ET. There is an ET I communicate with who is part of my soul cluster, meaning he's a soul fragment of the same soul as I am. And we're supposed to meet one of these days soon. We'll see. Um, but I ask him hundreds and thousands of questions about the universe and all about the Star Wars and his planet and the mothership that he's on that's 50 miles above us. Uh, that's uh, that is masked so that they don't scare us to death, while the 900 crew members, along with their families, totaling 1,600, do millions of readings each day as part of the Earth experiment. And again, you can find me at facebook.com, Tom T. Moore author, if you wish to follow me there. And weekly free newsletter at www.thegentlewaybook.com. And if you put in articles, that will take you to all my 900 the 900 newsletters I have put out that they're free. They're my gift to the world, and you can do searches and sign up for it on the opening page of the Gentle Way book. Now, I have a weekly free blog, most benevolent outcome and benevolent prayer stories sent from everywhere in the world. So thank you very much. Please subscribe and click the like button. Thank you.